The teacher who gave me 5 points of homework credit for cleaning my room is back at it again. He wants us to cook and serve that dish to our parents. But there's a problem. I don't know how to cook. I didn't want to endanger my parents with food that might give them salmonella. So I decided that I would cook for myself. And for myself at my own risk. This is also the perfect opportunity for something else. Hi, I'm Megan, and I'm recovering from an eating disorder. I decided to have my sister decide what I would eat for a day. It would involve cooking, so I was technically going to be doing the assignment. She wrote what I would be eating, but it was in Italian and it was really messy, so I rewrote it. It'll appear in moments of this video. What I meant by not knowing how to cook, I really don't know how to cook. The only thing I know how to use is the microwave, which I make eggs and oatmeal in. I like mixing peanut butter into my oatmeal. I had online classes that day. Dumbass, it was Sunday. So I whipped up some leftovers. I also had an apple and Cheerios. I just kind of put together some yogurt and a salad. And some bread. My sister challenged me to have 2 fried eggs, an entire avocado, toast with butter, a sandwich with butter bread. Wow, I cannot function. And an orange. Thankfully I know how to cut an avocado, but the avocado was the hard part. There were 2 rotten ones.
You've got to be kidding me.
The third one wasn't great either, but I was just gonna cut off the rotten parts. I was sick and tired of trying to find a good avocado at this point. Then I cut up an orange. I've seen my sister prepared buttered bread before. I kind of had an idea on how to do it, but I never actually did it myself. Oh great, not enough butter. Mind you, this is my first official time using a stove. And I didn't even know how to use it. I began actually cooking the bread and the sandwich. It wasn't that bad, but the sizzling kind of got to me and I was starting to freak out a little bit. I also realized that the amount of butter that I used initially wasn't enough, so I got another container of butter and put some more in to continue cooking. It wasn't quite enough for the remaining 3 pieces of bread I had, but I already used 2 knives and put them both in the sink. And my biggest mistake yet. I didn't even turn on the stove again after turning it off after the first batch of bread. So basically the last 3 pieces of bread didn't even cook. Next up were the eggs. Now my dad wasn't really ready to let me do this alone because I've never cooked an egg on a stove before. I started with pouring the oil. I already washed the egg, cracked it, and put its contents into a bowl. Once the yolk and the egg white went into the pan, oh, it was game on. I put some salt in the egg and boy do I have a bone to pick with our salt shaker. One random day I decided to try to put some salt in my egg. And I put like a good mound of salt in it on accident. How pleasant. The next step was to flip the egg. This is not easy, but I flipped it a few more times and got better at it. I repeated this process once more, a little bit more independently. My dad approved. Breakfast was finally served. Oh crap, I have a class in a minute. Ah, no! I decided to combine lunch and a snack because I don't tend to eat a snack. The vegetarian gyoza was from Trader Joe's. It was all frozen and stuff, so I had to get my dad's assistance to get it cooked. Oil flew around where it really should not be flying, but I got the job done. And like I said earlier, I combined my snack with my lunch, so my lunch also had some raisins and almonds. I also have some milk because my sister said that beverages are not restricted. Oh, and if you look back at the little menu my sister wrote, the snack portion also says to eat ice cream. As someone with a restrictive eating disorder, ice cream was one of those things that I cut out. However, I decided to keep it low-key because I had a class in like 5 minutes. I didn't have time to really celebrate. I had to worry about preparing for the AP Italian exam. My sister wanted me to eat with the family and eat whatever they were eating. This was kind of a big deal for me. My dad was shocked. I kind of got this unwanted attention, and I really wanted to leave, but I finished anyway. Oh, and another thing happened. My parents found my YouTube channel. That's basically the one thing that I did not want to happen. Anyway, they watched my crackheaded videos, and they were okay with it. How are they okay with the fact that I believe that cats go live and cows go down? This challenge to my eating disorder wasn't as bad as I thought. If I did this 6 months ago, I would not have done it. I've definitely made progress during my recovery, but I still have a ways to go. I'm sorry this video isn't as funny as it should be, but eating disorders are such a serious topic that I do not want to make a mockery of that. This platform isn't just to have fun, it's also to spread good. Awareness about these topics are very important to me. No one should ever have to go about these problems alone, as they are so hard to overcome. If someone you know is in this kind of situation, please give them as much support as you can. They may not say anything, but I'm pretty sure they would need it. Alright, I'm done being inspirational. This video is over anyway.